I'm here as a mother of two queer children, actually.
Shut up! Just shut up, you idiot!
One transgender child and one pansexual child.
Hey, you shut your face!
Again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years.
Shut the f up, Donnie.
One of our execs stood up and said, you know, we only have a handful of queer leads.
Shut up!
And I went, what? That can't be true.
Shut the f up!
And I realized, oh, it actually is true. We have many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads. Gay characters, gay stories.
Shut up! Will you shut up? Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
And I hope this is a moment where we just don't allow each other to go backwards.
Look, stick, I'm incredibly busy, so why don't you get the hell out of here before I snap your dick off and jam it into your ass?
Well. For years, people have talked about an agenda. People who talked about it existing were called the most heinous things, ostracized from society, canceled. Yet things kept happening. Things kept popping up. And now this leaked Zoom call pretty much confirms what everyone's been suspecting. Now, I don't have any issue. Like, representation for representation's sake is dumb, pointless, and regressive, I believe. Race-swapping characters, gender-bending characters. This is lazy. It doesn't actually give us new, interesting characters that display the particular group of people you want to display in a positive light. In fact, many times it breeds more anger and more division. We've had a long history of a lot of different types of characters that the media forgets about. It's like every time there's a strong female character in a movie, it's like the first time ever. People forgetting Ripley or Sarah Connor. And first time we have every new strong woman in video games. It's as if Lara Croft never existed, or Seamus never existed. It's ridiculous. And, I don't think that it is impossible to request Hollywood's best and brightest to write new, interesting characters who maybe happen to check a particular box that they might want. But when you make it an agenda, when you make it like this quota, you don't get quality entertainment. And after today, if you're still giving your money to Disney Plus, justifying it by saying you just watch a show here and there, look, fine. You're probably never going to get rid of it. And I understand parents have kids. Their kids want to see a Pixar movie or whatever. I understand everyone has their limits. But they're just out telling you now that they're more concerned about pushing agenda than providing quality entertainment. The two cannot coexist. You cannot go into a creative space, a creative mindset, with restrictions or predetermined solutions, characters, conclusions. It doesn't work that way. Disney executives admit they are pushing a, quote, not at all secret, quote unquote, gay agenda. I don't really know what that is. We'll hear it from their words. Actively removing gendered greetings and a whole lot more. The battle between Disney and the state of Florida has been raging for weeks, ever since the state announced its parental rights and education bill that bans the teaching of gender identity to first, second, and third graders, something any normal non-creep would agree with. The bill has been labeled an anti-grooming bill by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, Press Secretary Christina Pushaw, who, by the way, follows me, I think. Shout out to you, Christina. While opponents have labeled it the Don't Say Gay bill, for weeks there's been a fierce debate. By the way, got signed into law. Doesn't matter. Cope. Now, during a virtual staff meeting among Disney employees and executives, executive producer LaToya Ravino and president of Disney's General Entertainment Content, Carrie Burke, and others admitted to having a, quote, not-so-secret gay agenda and queer content in programs targeted towards children. Now, look, I am not as like, look, a movie has a gay character, whatever in it, whatever. Why is it important to you? I don't know. I don't think kids' movies should really be dealing with any type of, orientation stuff. But, that's just me. I'm often not right about things. So I don't know. I just want to know why it's so important that you want to teach, what goes on in the bedroom stuff to first graders. Anyway, in a video of the meeting that was obtained by journalist Christopher Rufo, shout out to him, he does great work, Burke spoke on how important it was for her to have, quote, many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories as a mother of a trans pan child. So your personal situation must become everyone else's, is what it sounds like, right? Narcissist much? Burke said, I'm here as a mother of 2 queer children. Actually, 1 trans and 1 pan. Could it be? I don't know. I'm not around in their house. Could it be that someone who's so obsessed with wokeness and this and that, maybe their mom convinced them? Maybe? I don't know. I can't say that definitively, but nature versus nurture is a thing. Look, I believe that gay people are born that way. I believe that. I support everyone living their best life. But I also believe that all these like subgenres of that, I think are a little more gray. And I think that when your parents saying, oh, little Timmy, you're 5 years old, you're 10 or 12 years old, and you're going through an awkward phase in your life. Listen, Timmy, here's what you actually are. Do I think that there are parents that do that? I don't have to think it. I know they exist. Libs of TikTok on Twitter shows me them every day. Now, and also as a leader, these are quotes, by the way, from the video. And the thing that really got me, because I had heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks in open forums and through emails and phone conversations, I feel a responsibility to speak not just for myself, but for them. Oh, put yourself right up on the cross. The clip then appears to cut before Burke also says, that is up to all of us. We had an open forum last week at the 20th, where again, the home of really incredible groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, we had a handful of LGBTQIA leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, it's actually true. We have many, many, many characters in our stories of that persuasion. We don't have enough leads. And narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters and not have to be about gay stories, Burke said. That's been very eye-opening, and I can tell you something that feels perhaps this moment has not happened. I, as a leader, and my colleagues would have focused on going forward, and I certainly will be doing more. I know that we will be, and I hope this is a moment where the 50% of the tears, are coming. We just don't allow each other to go backwards. Interesting. A Disney production coordinator identified as Alan Marsh says he worked for Disney's Moon Girl series, also revealed that Disney has actually created a tracker in order to determine whether or not the company is creating enough LGBTQ characters. I don't know what enough is. Do you? Anytime you ask somebody what is enough, it seems that the answer is almost certainly more. March said, I've had the privilege of working on the Moon Girl team for the last 2 years. They've been really open to exploring queer stories. I'm on the production side, part of work, and I feel like I can put in making sure of that. So I put together a tracker of our background characters to make sure that we have full breadth of expression. We've got into a very similar conversation. A tracker. So it's not just a numbers game of how many LGBTQ plus characters you have, he stated. The more centered a story on the character and the more nuance you get into their story. A third video shows Vivian Ware, diversity and inclusion manager at Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, stating, "Last summer we removed all gendered greetings in relationship to our live spiels." She explained, "We no longer say ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We provided training for all of our cast members in relationship to that, so now it's hello everyone or hello friends." We're continuing, we're in the process of changing over those recorded messages. So many of you are probably familiar. We brought the fireworks back to Magic Kingdom. We no longer say ladies and gentlemen. So I love the fact that it's opened up creativity, the opportunity for our cast members to look at that. Okay, what? Here's scoop. Disney Diversity Inclusion Manager moves boys and girls. Are they removing it from the bathrooms? Disney's activism partner, Nadine Smith in Equality Florida, tells LGBTQ employees that Ron DeSantis and Christina Pushaw want to erase you, criminalize your existence, and take your kids. A wild conspiracy theory that Republicans want to kidnap gay people's kids. This has the same energy of all those lunatics that were saying Trump was going to put them in camps. Another clip from Disney's staff meeting, who is an executive producer at Disney Television, says she has turned her studio into her own personal pocket to insert as much LGBTQ content as possible. Quote, "I love Disney content. I grew up watching all the classics. They have been a huge informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I heard, you hear whispers. I've heard things like, they won't show you this in a Disney show. And I'm like, okay. So I was a little sus. And I started, but then experience was bafflingly the opposite of that. In my little pocket of proud family Disney TV, the showrunners were super welcoming, Meredith Roberts and blah, blah, blah. Maybe it was part of the past, so I've obtained video from a Disney's all-hands meeting about parental rights. It's interesting. Now, you wonder about the intent about some of this stuff, right? Jeremy Boring, CEO of Daily Wire, says, "The magic has left the kingdom. It's time to build new things we can believe in." Yeah, I mean, I don't really understand, Disney executive cops to advancing, quote, gay agenda by adding queerness to shows. Again, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say that it should never exist ever, but I will say that it's interesting how far, how far this is going. To remove gender-specific pronouns, why? Now, the opposite, every time people will gaslight you and say, oh, well, why? What does it matter to you? Does it hurt you that they don't say boys or girls? But no, you'll say no, because it doesn't hurt you. But then another thing changes. And then they remove the signs from the bathrooms. And then another thing changes. And another thing changes. And another thing changes. It's all part of the plan. A plan that is now out there for all of you to see. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please click that red subscribe button down below the video. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we'll talk to you again real soon.